What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Planet Xbox. I am your host, Kid Smooth, aka the Best Spot. I need to introduce anybody else, so I'm gonna let my co-host come and introduce themselves, and then we'll tell you about the guests we have today.
Howdy
Come on in.
guys, Gaming Addict here. It's nice to be on another episode of Planet Xbox. We got a lot to talk about today.
All right. What's up,
And
everybody? My fault. Go ahead.
well, no, that's fine. That's actually one of our guests, but go ahead and introduce yourself.
I go to by the name of iFrog Gamer, um, Xbox extraordinaire. So you know what it is.
And I gotta have to ask you about that in a bit. And then, I Dizzy, what's
What
up?
what's going on? What's going on, people? It's I Dizzy81 back at it with the podcast Planet Xbox. Let's go.
Awesome. And we got a special guest in there. I should have put it in the title, but how you doing, Red?
What's up, y'all? What is popping? I guess because everybody called me the Sony Pony Girl, so I'm the Sony fan girl everybody claims. But what's up, y'all? It's good to be amongst some gamers.
You among some
Yep.
bots.
I don't like to call y'all bots because bots mean that the only bots that I call is the crazy people that don't actually play their games. I
I
call those
heard that.
bots. But you got your little signature, so I'm gonna let you ride with it.
Yeah, by the way, pardon us for the delay. Today was a very strong delay. Part that was my fault. Part of it's my fault for setting up the whole thing like late with all the trailers and whatnot, and then the rest we could just blame freaking Dizzy for. I thought he slipped into a coma, but he was too busy cooking
I was
baked
cooking.
potato and steaks.
I was
So-
cooking. It's fine. Blame me. That's how we do down here in Texas, man. We cook. We grill. We barbecue. We do it out there.
Just send me a plate, okay? Send me a plate.
I got you. I got you.
Oh man, so we're gonna cut to the chase. First thing I'm gonna ask you guys, even though this may not apply to Red unless she's playing some of those things on PC, but we typically start off the show asking, what was the latest achievement, or in your case, trophy you've unlocked?
Mine
Last?
was. You go ahead, Infinity.
No, I was trying to think. I'm sorry. I was thinking out loud. You go ahead, because I still
Said
gotta think.
the last one I unlocked was David and Goliath off Exxon for killing a berserker with a melee attack.
Okay, yeah, I couldn't even tolerate that. What about you, iFraud, Xbox extraordinaire?
All right. I gotta be honest real quick. I just got a PS4 Pro. I know, don't kill me. So I've been playing Uncharted. I just beat it like 3 seconds ago. So the last trophy that I got was the Charted trophy for beating it on hard. So I like literally just beat it like 3 seconds ago. So
Are you
Xbox
gonna go?
fans, please don't kill me. I do have an Xbox One S, so iFrog Gamer is the gamer tag, just in case you want to look me up. But
And
yeah,
Dizzy, please don't tell me it was an art achievement.
Kidding me? He hasn't unlocked an ARC achievement in probably months.
You right. I really haven't arc. No, it's been a little minute with arc. No, I jumped onto. Was it Life is Strange? I think I
Okay.
got a few with Life is Strange and everything. I told you next time I'll have something, so I had to get the easiest one I could get. There's only so many Telltale games on the market right now.
Yeah, the last achievement I recently unlocked was actually an hour ago. Actually, it was a little over an hour ago. It's from that game. What's the name of this damn game? It's called Guns, Gore, and Cannoli. Like, anybody familiar with that? I think it was
never
about
heard of
worth
it.
50 gamer scores. It's a small independent title. It's on sale today for $3. Check out the Xbox Indie Sale on the Xbox Store. You can find games 95 cents, $1.50, $3.33, $3.50. All sorts of great games. You want to build up your gamer score. I would take a budget of $25, buy yourself about 15 games, and you're good to go. So
That's cheating though, Smooth, ain't it? Ain't that what the your colleagues say about playing those 2 hour games?
it's not cheating. I'm not playing those games to rack up to add up to the games beat. I'm already leading. That's not the problem. I'm playing as many games as I can to help because I'm about to enter a new challenge with Lord Attic here in probably a month or so.
Okay.
We're going to be on a race to get to 100,000. Yeah,
Oh,
unfortunately,
nice.
best spot not at 100,000 gamer score yet. I'm only at about like
Don't
74,000 right now. So
don't let kid trick you, man. He's about to get stomped in this this bet because he's already played all the easy 1,000 gamer score. I ain't touched any of that shit.
Hmm.
I still got a lot that I can go for. That's why I'm padding the cell up right now because I know there's a lot of them's gonna have that them easy 1Ks. So I'm not worried about it.
Person I need to talk to is the man with the million because he definitely knows that the way around that gamer score to beat you for that
That's
40,000.
true.
Yeah, it's I just had to make Gamer Lives Matter a moderator. But yeah, shout out to the chat. Today we are giving away we're giving away Dead by Daylight later today. So just to give you guys a heads up, we will be giving that away today. And before we get into the meat and potatoes of the show, me and Dizzy, we got to play too. We all got to play Dead by Daylight earlier today. You're gonna give your
Uh,
quick impressions of it.
well, I mean, if we could say that we actually got to play, like, I mean, what we played one round, and I mean, really, and for the record, Kid was not the first person to die today. I died. I had a record-breaking death in probably less than a minute. We get into the game. I say, "Oh snaps! I play inverted." So I pop up my options menu. I start looking for the invert. Next thing you know, I'm dead.
You
Damn,
know what the greatest
that's
you
what.
know what the greatest thing is when you're playing that game is when you see at the end of the other end of the map or whatever you're playing, all you hear is kids screaming, "Why is he going after me?" And then you see that red indicator that he picks someone up, and he's like, "Someone help me!"
But so from what we played, like, I mean, it's not much that we could really base it off of. We played early in the morning. Maybe not a lot of people were playing. It was really hard to get into a match. I think that we co-streamed it on Mixer, and
Yep.
what we played one match in the matter of like 45 minutes. Like we could get almost everybody in there, but not everybody that we needed.
Yeah, there's not a lot of people. The server's just open today, so I mean that's why we're giving out a code today. So one of you lucky members in the chat, those who are viewing, you know, you can play with us and whatnot, but we're not going to just give it away. We're gonna test your Xbox trivia, and that's how we're gonna get you the game. You know what I mean? So it's not going to be anything too hard. People should be able to guess this. First person to guess or come up with the correct answer. You put it in the chat and then make sure you put your Twitter handle in there so we can find you and direct message you the code. So. But that's all that's all for that. Before, damn, I'm tripping over my words. Gaming Addict, you have any impressions of the couple? Because me and Gaming Addict got to play a couple rounds this morning.
I mean, it's a fun game. I was looking more, into the skill tree. It seems pretty in depth, and what character you choose really does have a significant difference in the gameplay. I feel like as of right now, because I'm such a low level, that it's pretty much if the killer sees you, you're just done. Like there's nothing you could do.
Yeah, there's no way of fighting the killer. You kind of just run.
We asked that dude,
And
he was like, "Yeah, I'm an expert at this." He was like, "How you take out the killer?" He's like, "You don't, you run."
yeah, it was unfortunate that he had to leave abruptly. I think his dad kicked him off the Xbox.
He was told he
But
wasn't allowed to play those games that early in the
yeah,
morning.
that early in the morning, he must have been anticipating the game because the game just came out this morning, like for the Xbox. But
Mm.
Yeah, that was the. I think the game's cool. I mean, I was just happy that the game itself was working day one. The only reason why I had to wait time was so long is because there's not many people on this thing, and I'm sure that's going to change. The game officially launches in Europe in about 3 days, so it may take some time for the servers to populate with people and whatnot. So I guess otherwise, until then, we can play with each other. I know that sounds a little suspect, but you guys know what I'm talking about. But let's get to the big deal. And like I said, we'll be giving out Dead by Daylight a little bit later on today in the show with some Xbox trivia. So let's talk about Xbox E3. Like, what a show! What a
Yeah.
show! I'm kind of, I just want to know, what you guys, what do you think? Like, what was your, I guess, your impressions of the
Impressions.
show? How did Xbox do?
All right, so I'll start, and I guess I'll get the elephant out the room right now. The 499 price tag didn't go so well over with a lot of gamers. I believe because of the 499 original Xbox One price tag, I think a lot of gamers wanted to see uh, wanted to see the price at 399. But 499 is not a bad price, but because of the original Xbox price being 499, I think that still had a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. So with it coming back at 499, it didn't go over so well. And then, of course, we got to talk about the dynamic 4K, the checkerboard in 4K. Even though Phil Spencer was touting that true 4K slogan, their reports are already out that not all games are true 4K. So I think I like the conference. The games were pretty good. Most of the games were not for me, but those are the two things that stood out to me that I knew were going to come as a backlash to the conference.
You know, there's only been like two games that's like confirmed checkerboard, right? Well, one's coming
Well,
out this year and one's a year away, so we don't know what the hell is going to
well, I
happen
mean,
with that. But
Assassin's Creed, which was touted as true 4K,
nobody said Far Assassin's Creed was true 4K.
that's what Phil Spencer said on the stage. That's all he kept saying was true 4K.
True 4K. Yeah. Never mind. I was just about to, because whatever I was going to say next was going to throw us off topic. But okay, well, I'll give you that. Just wanted to just update you on that. On that, there's literally right now that we know of two games that aren't exactly true 4K. But
Eh, but all in all, the conference was good. They had a lot of games. Um, just a lot of. I think just the miscommunication, that Phil Spencer has is kind of weird to me. Um, with all the companies, it's weird, but just to tout it and to not not deliver it, so to speak, just left a bad taste. But it was a good conference, better than Sony's. I'll put it that way.
I don't know about that one.
uh, Sony's was okay. I mean, not to get on Sony's right now, but it was just too short, in my opinion, and
I would
they didn't show
say,
enough.
if I don't sound too echoey because I'm in a hallway right now, but I would say that this, and I said it before and I'll say it again, that this was Microsoft's best conference in the past 5 years amongst themselves, not amongst, and to compare them
Right.
to any other conferences. But I felt like this was the best because this is what we've been asking for as far as show us games, show us in relatable or what your message is. So that's why I said this is their best that they had in a long time. As far as like comparing it to Sony or even comparing it to the third party press conferences, I will agree with Kid Smooth has said when we was out and we did our live stream of our impressions. There wasn't no wow factor as far as what they have for their lineup. Like it's like something to surprise everyone. You know, those like, oh my gosh, the reason why you tune into E3 press conferences, I didn't get that. Even though I was happy, I was excited on everything they were showing. regardless if it was going to be multi-plat or not. I think their presentation was good. But there wasn't like a killer title that's going to like show the true essence of what the Xbox One X is supposed to deliver to persuade someone to go and cop it. As far as like myself to go and get it because I could just play those games on a PC. So with someone who doesn't want to do that, doesn't want to spend an extra 200 or whatever to do PC gaming, it's still like, why would someone go from an Xbox One S to an X? So it's like they didn't show any games to show that. And I feel if you're going to introduce another console, you should at least try to do that as one of your goals. And I felt like they didn't do that.
Good points. Good points. Even though me personally, I would feel anybody should just upgrade to an X if you know if you already got like you know if you're ready
Right.
for the power of the X. But that's just me. Dizzy. Watching it because I know I've been trying to get around to watching it again from like home, but you had the luxury of watching it from home and with your steaks and whatnot. So, what did you think of the Xbox press conference?
um, I wasn't there. I'll have to agree with Red. There wasn't a wow factor, but I felt like all E3. I don't think that there was that wow factor for anything on any of this E3. Like, I mean, E3 as a whole just felt kind of not like how E3 typically is. Because normally there's something that's there that everybody's just like, wow. Probably the closest thing on the Xbox was probably Anthem, which was at the tail end of it. And even then, like, I mean, it was like, oh, that's cool, but like I think that it's a little bit burnt because you have games like I hate to bring them up, but Destiny and the Division, they come out and they're not up to expectations. So this is just another one that could go down the same route, but we'll see. Overall, um, for me, I thought that it was a decent showing, but yeah, no wow factor. No wow factor. I think that the only thing I was probably disappointed in was that the release date for Cuphead, which is not going to be at E3 like we all had anticipated. But
Yeah, I think
whatever.
everyone thought it was coming out at E3 week.
Oh,
It's coming out
absolutely.
this year though, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so I mean,
that
not bad, but not the best that we've ever seen.
I mean, what I would say is, like I said, I don't think it was. Red said she thinks it was Xbox among Xbox best E3 showing. I don't. There's recent Xbox E3s that I heavily enjoyed, like E3 2014, E3 2015. I thought those were extremely great
Well,
briefings.
I said in the past 5 years, not overall in general. For years, they had some, especially last gen. As far as 2014, I don't know about that one. I mean,
I thought it was impressive, but like there was a lot of E3s. I felt like Xbox had the best showing in the last 5 years. That's why it was when you said that I was.
even for a wow factor, because this is my thing. As far as like a caliber of games, right? So a caliber of games, as far as to show the true essence of the power that they keep. Because the thing that bothers me is all through E3, when it came with the Microsoft Xbox staff, is you see the most powerful console you've ever seen. This is a monster. Like the whole marketing jargon behind the Xbox One X. But then you have all these step backs as far as checkerboarding, upscaling, and all this other
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why do all of that? Now, for example, when PlayStation had showcased the PlayStation Pro, of course they weren't all of that clear as well, but they wasn't marketing as if they was marketing as if this is going to be like this is going to be a little upgrade to what you need as far as high dynamic range. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as a little bit 4K, a little upscaling. They wasn't saying out the bat, this is the most powerful stuff just because of some 6 teraflops.
The
Like
they, I think here's the
that's
thing
what I didn't get with
about
the jargon.
with
But
the
I'm
I
like, you
think
can have a. What'd you say?
I think I think it was fair for Microsoft to go the way they went with as far as like marketing and touting it being the most powerful console because
It is.
at the moment it is the most powerful console we've seen. Reason
But
why
how
they
are we
are
going to
touting
see
the
that
4K.
power? That's my problem. It's just like when PC gamers used to talk about the stuff they used to talk about. But I was like, we'll never see an Uncharted or God of War type of game shown, and this is on the least powerful to a PC. That's the same thing that I feel about that Xbox is doing with their whole marketing campaign. Because the caliber of, for example, God of War, and still to this day, even when they show God of War at E3, was on a regular PS4. It was not played on a Pro. And even at the
So they
showing,
say.
and even the on-hand demos was still on a regular PS4. And but the caliber of it and the talent of it supersedes something that you can say 6 teraflops. Like this is what I was saying that Xbox need a game of a high caliber to push me and persuade me to say, yo, I gotta go cop an Xbox One X because of these games. Because some people don't believe that first party titles is what drive people to go pick up a console. And I look at them like, are you serious?
I'm one of those. It depends. When you talk about like a to a casual, I don't think exclusives sell casuals. I think it's your Maddens, your Call of Duties, your Grand Theft Autos.
The only games
Um,
that really sell casual to or exclusives that show to a casual is a multiplayer game, and the reason I say that is because they were converted to buy that exclusive because it's multiplayer and their friends wanted them to play it with them.
but what I speaking of matter of fact, before I go, AJ, I want you to because you were also up there. You got front row seats, or at least front section to the Xbox conference. What was your initial points? Because you got to watch it twice. You watched it live with the rest of us, and then you went back home and took another look at it.
Look, is this? I feel like at first when I first watched this, you know, I ain't gonna lie. I left and I texted my friend Lord Cognito. I said trash, but a lot of the thing is like it's what people say is you go to E3 expecting to get wowed. You go to E3 expecting announcements for a big game that's coming out in the next couple years. But E3 for Microsoft hasn't been like that for a couple years. They don't really announce stuff recently like last year and this year that's coming out 2 or 3 years in the future. They try to keep it mainly close to the chest, and we just didn't get that. But there was a lot of games there that I didn't really notice because I was there live. So when I went back and I rewatched it, Ashton looked phenomenal. A lot of people really liked the last night. I didn't really get that so much until the PC show where they really explain more detail what the last night was. But the game, I like the conference. The conference is a solid conference. As far as saying it's better than the other ones, I feel like every platform this E3 had the exact same scoring scale than its predecessors. Because let's be real here, okay? Last year, people said that Sony had a solid conference. They showed less than they showed last year. So
Yeah.
you can't even really go a huge amount into that. But what they showed would appeal to a hardcore audience. So that's what gave them a little bit of an edge. Microsoft showed that they're going towards trying to be more diverse. They're trying to bring more JRPGs. They're trying to bring more of a Japanese market into their console. They're trying to be really dev friendly to get the best quality of third parties as they possibly can. And then you had Nintendo that was like, we're just going to show you all the shit that's coming out this year and then walk off the stage. So, Microsoft, they did a good job about that. A lot of people forget that E3 is not about the consumer, it's about the press. It's about the industry itself. It's about what rides the industry forward. And, especially since they make it more public, a lot of people forget about that. I feel like this E3 wasn't really about the consumers. it was about, Xbox making a statement. Look, we messed up at the beginning of this generation. We isolated, indie devs. We told them that, you had to come with us and us only. It brought a lot of bad blood. A lot of people don't know it, but in the 360 era, there was a lot of bad blood between the Japanese market and the American market when it came to, Microsoft. And, you know, these games that's coming out on PlayStation only, like, what was that game that came out a couple months ago that Platinum made?
Are you talking about
Yeah,
near?
Near. Like games like that, Near, Noah, games like that, they don't necessarily not come to the console because they don't sell. I think they just don't come to the console because the the publisher and developer behind these certain games just don't mess with Microsoft. I highly doubt that them making a port would cost more than them getting back in the revenue they would make from selling that port. It's just they don't, Microsoft's not the marketing lead, so they don't really have to try to accommodate to that fan base. And second off, they I just feel like they don't mess with Microsoft. They just don't. And
Do you think it's because
Phil
of the I'm sorry.
Phil's trying to mend that relationship. For this first time, I think ever a DBZ game was premiered on the Xbox stage.
Yeah.
Like
That was my
that's
game
huge.
show.
And a lot of people want to, they want to go at Microsoft. Oh, it's a bunch of indies, and I'm like, look, like these are the same people that did nothing but praise indies at the beginning of the generation when they were all coming to PlayStation. And I'm like, look, like, and then these are the same people that want JRPGs and Japanese oriented games on Xbox. They want Xbox to be more diverse. So then they try to be a more diverse library, and they're like, all indies trash. And I'm like, it makes no sense to me, like at all. And when it comes down to it, it's just like, look, you can't go to big indies, I mean, big Japanese developers and expect, the best of the best from their lineups. So what you do is, you go to the littlest, you go to the middle to the little guys, you get them to like you, and then that spreads throughout that whole continent. Before all these Japanese devs are talking to each other, and Microsoft has a more friendly diversity when it comes to that Japanese market. So I think we're gonna have to wait and see how that rolls because I mean, Kingdom Hearts 3, we're getting more of a Japanese oriented market, and I feel like Gamescom, I feel like they might show a new IP there. I feel like Phil didn't necessarily not want to show a new IP, but I felt like he really wanted to give that drive that look, we about the indies. We are trying to it's a big thing to go out there on the biggest gaming convention in the world and show people's indies games that they worked their entire life on. And it's going to get to the point where like people will want to work with Microsoft more, not necessarily think of them as the little second place. They'll want to work with them because they're a really friendly company.
Do you think it's
Yeah.
because of the reputation of Xbox though, being that it has a reputation of a bro shooter,
I don't
and
That
necessarily.
that's why
reputation's gone, dude.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I'm not so sure.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, when it comes to like quote unquote bro shooter, all that is people want to go on about Microsoft that they don't have single player games, and it's like, but that's kind of double standard because if you look at the competition, they don't have multiplayer games, so it's like, how do you go out one for one and not the other? It's like PlayStation was raised on a foundation of single player oriented games for
True.
years. They were brought up in that era. Microsoft, kind of kickstarted the multiplayer era. So
Right.
obviously they would have more multiplayer focused games, and that's what they built their foundation on. That's why you have single player games sell more on PlayStation, and a lot of multiplayer games, even though that the install base is doubled, a lot of the times first person shooters aren't that much of a difference on console to console.
Right.
Man, you banning people like crazy in that chat, kid.
No, I'm unbanning people because there was a troll Gamer Lives Matter account that asked to be a mod, and I
Oh,
didn't pay attention to the way the name was written, so he like blocked everybody in the chat. So, yeah, person can like suck a scrotum and die. So, all right. So, personally, my first initial thoughts on the Xbox E3 showing, I was disappointed for only really one main reason. It wasn't really the fact that I thought the show sucked. I thought the show was great. I was impressed with Xbox One X and all the diversity in games I was excited for. But I felt a bit winded because I wasn't really happy for that. There was 2017 games that was now moved to 2018. That was the problem I had, and it was that State of K2 was delayed and Sea of Thieves was delayed. Those were the things that kind of just like, holy crap, like 2017, there's nothing really left in the year to look forward to. So it's like I was then distracted for the show because I was like, well, damn, that sucks. You know what I mean? So when I came out of the show, I was a bit disappointed.
Getting delayed like hurt me emotionally.
Yeah. And that was disappointing. It was the fact that wow, 2017 sucked for the Xbox brand as far as games go, and in the remainder of the year wasn't going to be too much better. I mean, of course, Xbox One X is going to be a big deal, and we'll get to see what Crackdown 3 does, and we know what Forza 7 is going to do. I don't know what the smaller titles, like one of my favorites, Super Lucky Tales. I don't know what that's going to be like. I mean, it's a $30 game, but who knows?
I'm kind of getting that vibe that Microsoft picked that title up, like because in one of the interviews that I saw at E3, he referred to that as a first-party title.
That game looks bad to me. It just doesn't look good.
Microsoft needs more of a diverse of platformers. The gaming industry right now needs more of a diverse of platformers.
They have Ori. You know, Ori looked fantastic. So I mean, that's diverse. I mean, that's.
But here's another good question though: would people's perspective on the conference be different if Scorpio was announced as $399?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
I think ending that show at $499 hurt that conference more.
Yeah.
It should have been announced at $499 at the beginning, like after they revealed the console. I don't think it should have been like I felt like if they were going to show the price at the end, then I would expect it to be like a shocking price. But I am not upset at the $499 price point. I don't understand what people were thinking. Like I think we all fell into the hype that I don't know where the stupid $399 rumor came from, right? But it's been floating around for a while, and we all got like duped into like, oh my god, it can be $400. Now, me thinking about being $400 in my prediction, I was like, I thought there was going to be two SKUs, right? But I thought both SKUs of Xbox One X would be no less than $450. I thought one's going to be $450 and another one's going to be $550. I think that's what I picked, right? So you got to think for this console to come in at the same price as a PlayStation 4 Pro. Not only is the thing is more powerful than a Pro, it has 4 extra gigs of RAM. That it has over the Pro. It has the 4K Blu-ray drive in there. It has the FreeSync. It has HDMI 2.1. It has the Dolby Atmos in there. It has a lot of stuff going on for this thing that is not available in the other console, and for it to somehow match the pricing of it was unfortunately unrealistic expectations that we fell into. And most people that was running around with the $400 price point was really running around with it like, oh my god, it's going to be a much better system than PlayStation, and it's going to come in at the same price, and it's going to win, it's going to sell like gangbusters. They were going in with the expectations. Nobody was going in with the Xbox One X expectations for themselves. Like, all right, what this console going to do for me? Like, you know what I mean? Well, yeah, like not everybody. If we think about all the woo-ha on YouTube and Twitter and whatnot, it was a lot of it was really these predictions and all these hopes were due to so people can to go against the other fanboy. You know what I mean?
But here's the thing, though. Does Microsoft want to sell Xbox One X? Because, listen, when a mom or dad comes into the store, right, the first thing they see is price. So when they see that $499 price tags for the X and they see that $399 PS4 Pro, they're going to automatically go with that PS4 Pro, despite what, you know.
Who's to say they're not going to go for the $249 Xbox One S that has also a 4K Blu-ray drive that plays the same games. It's going to say they want to sell Xbox.
Well, that's
It's not about if
that's
they sell the Xbox One X. There's going to be, you got to think about it, there's going to be multiple Xbox consoles in the store. They hear kids say, "Oh, I want an Xbox One X or an Xbox One S." They're gonna go to the store, get confused, get one of them. At the end of the day, you're getting an Xbox. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but here's the thing though. See, with the PS4 Pro, they already have the luxury of the PS4 name, it being in the name. So that's the Pro is going to sell somewhat because of that PS4 name. Now you got the Xbox One X, at that $599 price tag. I mean,
$4.99.
well, my fault. Yeah, $499 price tag. Who is Microsoft? I mean, I understand they want to give it to the hardcore. Hardcore Xbox fans are going to buy it, no doubt. But is that really who? Is that all they want to sell it to?
Yes, because they have a console for the casual. They've been saying that. That's what the big deal about the pricing was to me. I always said to myself, all right, if they sell this to at $3.99, right? They're going to try to get this out to everybody. They want this to sell massively, right?
Right.
But if they do the $500 or more, then they're going for like a specific crowd, like whoever wants the best of the best from a console. As far as performance wise, and that's where it looks like I was like, it's a premium product, which they said it's going to be priced at what consoles are typically priced at, and we already seen a console priced at $600, and we already had an Xbox One priced at $500. So it's like a lot of people are focused on, man, they're going to win it. Are they trying to win a generation with the Xbox One X? They're not. No, they're going to sell Xbox One X, and due to the Xbox One X, they're going to sell more Xbox One S's. Is how I see it, but
I see it that way too.
But I think overall, their show was great. I like the games that they showed. I was just disappointed in that of 2017's lineup. Great Ep.3, 2017 sucks though. I will say that 2017 for Xbox games suck. As far as like, I don't know what to anticipate. A lot of the games I'm anticipating this year are multi-platform games, even some sports games. I think the only exclusive I got in here since State of K2 is out there. I mean, I'm kind of interested in Crackdown.
Okay.
So I think I'm more interested in Super Lucky Tales than I am Crackdown. Believe it or not. And I don't mind that. That's my anticipation level, because Crackdown, who knows, can be that. I think Crackdown will be. You know how everybody wants a Sunset Overdrive 2?
Right.
I think Crackdown 3 would fill that void. Personally, I think Crackdown 3 will fill that void. Yes. Mm-hmm. And Red, are you in indoors yet? Because I want to ask you about Crackdown, because I think you got to play at the media showcase, right? Is she there? You guys can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh damn! We lost Red and Attic. All right, let me try to get them back. All right. IDizzy, actually, tell them what you thought of Crackdown from what you got to see. I'm gonna post that gameplay, and while you're talking about your thoughts on Crackdown, I'm gonna go find our other partners.
I guess I expected a little bit more. It was a cool for, like, if they were doing this as a commercial with Terry Crews, because the Terry Crews part was awesome, and it's awesome to see that he's actually going to be part of the game itself with his character and the voiceover. They should have showed more, and I think that I expressed this the last time. Like, I think I'm a little bit disappointed that Microsoft bet the bank on a game like Crackdown, especially since they aren't showing as much as I feel that they really should be showing. I guess this was supposed to be the first iteration of the single player, but we really didn't get anything of the single player. We still haven't seen a lot of the multiplayer.
Right. You think that's what people really want to see, of the destruction, the power of the cloud?
Well, I mean, I think that even regardless of the power of the cloud and everything, they want to see the game, and if you're not showing the game, that kind of gets concerning, because like, what are you hiding behind closed doors? Because like, I mean, they could have a gym behind closed doors. I don't know. Right. Or they could be trying to cover something up, which could be on the other end of the spectrum and everything. So That's just my take. I know that I'm a little bit harsh on it because I'm not really big on Crackdown. I've never really been a big Crackdown fan. Um, I played the first one. I think I dabbled around in the second one, but not really played it. But it's just for me, it's not my cup of tea. But regardless of that, I just don't feel that they showed enough of it, and they need to show something of it.
All right, sorry about that, you guys. Some weird shit happened with my internet.
It's all good. It's good. What's your thoughts on Crackdown 3?
I don't want to say it looked trash, but I'm not saying it wasn't too far ahead of that. Like, it's not that. Like, okay, the game looked fun. And, you know, I'm all about fun factor over what the game looks like. And the game looked fun. But my thing is, it's like I said on Planet Xbox before we went to E3. Look, no one is questioning the single player of Crackdown. We've played the single player of Crackdown. You know what people are questioning? The new shit that you claim is fully destructible. That's what people are questioning. What's the one thing they didn't show? The shit that's fully destructible.
Yeah, I'm still looking forward to it. Looking forward to Crackdown 3 more than Agents of Mayhem, by the way. Just saying.
Oh, Agents of Mayhem looks garbage.
But Crackdown 3. Like I said, I think it's going to fill that void of Sunset Overdrive. We lost Red Infamy for a moment. I know she got to play. I wanted to get her initial thoughts on the game itself and whatnot of how it played. They had it playable at E3. However, they did not have Crackdown 3 playable on an Xbox One S or an Xbox One X or an Xbox One X dev kit.
So
They were playable. They were playable on PCs. So all that downgrade talk and look, you guys are talking about. They were running on high-powered PCs. So that's how they. The only way you got to play it at E3 is on the PC. On the PC build, there was not an Xbox One X or Xbox One S version playable or available, or one available on one of those consoles. When we got to see it live, and me personally, I didn't really care to play it because I wanted to play it on Xbox One X. Every game, I did not play any game running on a PC at E3. Every Xbox game I played or game running on Scorpio, I played running on either the actual Xbox One X or the Xbox One X dev kit because they had them both available there to look at and play with and whatnot. So that's pretty much it. But like I watched people play. I thought it looked cool. Seems like something I would enjoy, and that's where I got like, even though Crackdown was available before Sunset Overdrive, I felt like, damn, we haven't had Crackdown in 7-8 years, and the most recent game I could think of that it reminded me of was Sunset Overdrive without the grinding. I think I'm going to enjoy. I think I'm enjoying it a lot. Regardless of the art style, I think I'm going to enjoy this game a lot. And I got some hours in Sunset Overdrive.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else?
I think Crackdown looked okay. Yeah, but like the other two guys were saying, I think people just want to see the multiplayer and the fully destructible world.
Look, even if Crackdown looks what Crackdown looks like at E3, if you can play a multiplayer world where I can legitimately do a ground stomp through a building, people are not going to care what it looks like.
Right, exactly. But yeah, it looked all right to me. I didn't really get to see a lot of footage of it, really, but from what I did see, I mean, it looks like Crackdown. So if you like Crackdown, you probably like Crackdown 3.
Yeah. I want to say one thing I want to talk about, even though it's always going to be a topic of conversation, and we dibbled and dabbed on this subject earlier than I wanted to, but it's the elephant in the room. Is Xbox One X, man? Like I said, a lot of people are heavily focusing on Assassin's Creed, and then the vertical slicing found in the Anthem demo, which like I said, it's a complete year away. So it's like, oh, okay, well, those games are checkerboarding, so it's a problem, right? And me personally, I'll be the first to tell you, I expected at first, I expected every game to be
To be native.
4K, native 4K, whatever, you know what I mean, but 4K 60. And then I fell back down to earth when they had reconfirmed that it's going to optimize, just when they what the hell when they said said about like having the games run at the same frame rate of its original, and then it just maxing out the resolution and whatnot, unless it's like a single player game. And that's where I kind of was like, all right. So maybe not every game 4K 60, but there will be. But I did expect every game to be native
Native.
4K. And
Yes.
now I expected this, and the only reason why, not because of what anybody said, because I was saying this even because Phil Spencer been saying ever since the announcement of Project Scorpio last year that developers don't have to use all the power to get 4K resolution. Because people were pressing, well, why would we want 4K? Why can't they use it to get better graphics or higher fidelity and make it 1080p? People were actually saying this when they was like,
Right.
the game's only if it doesn't the game it won't be no use to you unless you have a 4K TV. Remember that?
Hmm.
So people were like, well, why they can't do this? Da, 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 da. It became like a bad thing,
But that's kind of true,
right?
though. That's kind of true.
Yeah,
Not to cut you off, because
yeah.
to get the most, even the PS4 Pro, to get the most out of these mid gen consoles, it's like you have to have a 4K TV, or it's kind of a waste to me.
Yeah.
So
So
like, I mean,
go ahead.
that's what like I have. Like I have a 4K TV, and I knew I was going to buy a Pro. I know I'm going to buy an
Hmm.
Xbox One X. But for the people, these consoles are made for 4K. So you're kind of doing yourself a disservice if you don't have a 4K television. That's just me.
That is true. I agree with that, right? And so even though we had this information that Phil Spencer and everybody kept saying, yes, it's we knew reason why I said every game. I anticipate every game to be 4K 60 because in the back or 4K native. Because in my back of my mind, I'm like, what developer won't do it?
Right.
If you have this part, if you're gonna do it on the PC, right? Why not just do it for a console that can do it? What developer won't do it? So that was in my head. That's why I was thinking like, oh, 4K native everything. So I expected it. Even though they said he kept saying in interviews, I still got that interview. I re-uploaded to my channel. It has like 45,000 views, I believe, or 32,000 views. That Phil Spencer interview that I have with the Halo gameplay playing in the background when he said this, right?
Mhm.
So I expected it. And but now everybody's are focusing on that, Assassin's Creed and on Anthem, which looks remarkable.
Yeah,
Um,
looks ridiculous. Yeah.
Everybody's focusing on that, and they're focusing. But however, at the moment right now, there are more games confirmed to be at native 4K 60, and more games overall confirmed at native 4K than there are checkerboard games confirmed on a console, and that's why I find it funny.
But that's Phil Spencer's fault, though. Like I was saying earlier, because he said the phrase "true 4K." Everybody is thinking that all these games are going to run at native 4K. But then when these articles in Digital Foundry and when they come out and do their analysis and it shows that they're
Hmm.
not running native 4K, you got to kind of blame Phil Spencer for that because that's the message that he put out while he was on that stage. Every time he was on the stage, he said these games were running true 4K. And in everybody's mind,
Yep.
that's
But
native.
guess what? Who's to say, right, that Ubisoft didn't tell them, oh yeah, we got our Assassin's Creed demo and we got it at 4K. We want to show it.
Yeah, that's true.
And
But
what if they didn't specify that it was checkerboard?
okay,
But
They could have.
but didn't we go through this like last year, around the E3 time and just through the summer and everything? Because there was a comment that happened later on in an interview where he made mention of that the it's going to be up to the developers to
Yeah.
make the games how they want to. And so, if this is what the developers are, putting out and everything, I think that it becomes more of a problem if your first party titles aren't living up to what you're putting out. So, if Forza is coming out and it's not true 4K, that's a problem.
Yeah, that's already
So
confirmed. True
being that
4K
this
did.
is a
Digital
third
Foundry
party,
already attached that.
because that this is a third party, I'm not as concerned because the developer is going to make it however the developer wants to make it.
So why
Citing
say true 4K
Destiny
then?
2,
Why not just say
citing Destiny
4K?
2 not allowing the
Because
Xbox
the
to run more
console
power.
can very well do it, though. That's the thing. The console is fully capable of doing it. You feel like you got a 4K machine, it can definitely do it. There's nothing holding it
But it's
back
not.
from doing
But
4K
that's
though.
what. But it's not native. So why? Well, so why proclaim it as it being native when it's not?
Well, because I still feel majority of the games are going to be running native on a
Yeah,
console.
and me too. But the games that aren't like Assassin's Creed,
One,
it's not
that's
native
one game
4K.
so far for this fall. One game.
Metro. Well, we don't know that was running on
We,
PC,
we
but
don't know that.
Metro.
Why? But we can't list it. We don't even know. They can't. Like we don't know what that game's running.
That's true.
It's
I
like
just think
so
that's silly.
we already got facts. We only got one really confirmed. Anthem is I'll count Anthem because it was at the demo itself, which was running on the Xbox One X hardware. It wasn't native 4K. I think it was scaling down. And same thing with Assassin's Creed. It was scaling down from 2160p. It wasn't like they had to scale up. It was scaling down. So it starts at 2160p. It for the most part maintains it.
Well, yeah, it has a dynamic
It,
4K. I
yeah,
understand.
it's a dynamic. So that's the thing with it. So it's like I'm not even sweating that, right? So that's why they probably were able to get away by telling them, hey, this is it's at 4K. But as we speak right now, there are more confirmed native 4K games, more confirmed native 4K 60 games confirmed for Xbox One X than there are checkerboard. And
True.
and I'm gonna say that,
But
and let's talk about checkerboard for a moment, right? Now, a lot of people want to point out, oh, Xbox, games checkerboard. You were making fun of PlayStation 4 Pro, all this stuff. Now,
that's true.
I will challenge anyone. I've never made fun of PlayStation 4 Pro because of its checkerboarding capabilities. I was one of the first people to have the specs for PlayStation 4 Pro when it was still rumored to be Neo and stuff like that. I had that, and I remember I did videos and I was sending out tweets, right? Now, my thing wasn't a big deal about it being checkerboard because I didn't know what the hell that shit meant. I thought it was like, all right, whatever, but it's going to be higher than 1080p. Game's going to look better. I remember tweeting, "Wow, I'm going to be playing the best version of Uncharted 4 when I get the Neo." Right? The thing is about my gripe with PlayStation 4 Pro was never the checkerboard. Right, because up until now, the games that were running on PlayStation 4 Pro, the best place to play some of these games was a Pro other than a PC. Right, my only gripe with the PlayStation 4 Pro, it's never had nothing to do with checkerboard or dynamic. It was the fact that there's so many games that doesn't utilize it at all. So you pop a game and it just runs like a regular PlayStation 4. That's been my beef. That's been my beef with PlayStation 4 Pro. Not that it upscales to 4K or if it's checkerboarding. It's the fact that you could, like, when Prey came out, regular game. When, like, I'm like, what? Like, it had to do something, and that's why I've always been heightening this the Xbox One X, is because you know how people are losing their mind because Xbox, if a game says every game could technically come ship saying Xbox One Enhanced, right? Xbox One X Enhanced without developers doing anything, patches, right? You know why they're able to do that?
why is that?
Because the Xbox One X enhances the game anyway.
Right.
And that's what people are forgetting. It's like, okay, let's say the developer does nothing. You know, when Prey came out and before they added a little bit of something here and there, if and it was just a regular version, that wouldn't be possible on the Xbox One X. Because the system, it would have did something. Even if the system by default made the game load faster or locked its frame rates and maxed out its resolution to what they targeted, it's technically enhanced. So every game that you put in on Xbox One X, whether it be an original Xbox game, since that's backwards compatible now, Xbox 360 game, and Xbox One game, all those games are going to receive some sort of performance boost without a patch itself.
Right.
So that's why they're able to get away with the Xbox One X enhanced game, and that's why I was more happy and had more faith in the Xbox One X than I did with the Pro after release, because I'm still upset to the fact that a game can drop right now a brand new game without any pro support, and it would just run like the base PlayStation 4. And I'm like, for a console like this, that should not happen. They got to support it some way somehow. But I'm sorry, I just thought we just dominated that conversation. Dizzy, gaming addict, please.
So we're talking about the whole 4K fiasco.
I just
Yeah.
think that they probably showed the wrong games. I mean, if they would have shown Arc has already confirmed themselves 4K native, 60 frames per second.
Is that your answer to every kind of possible question
you know,
ever?
I'm
Just show
finding a
art.
reason to bring Arc up in every conversation that I can. It's too hardcore.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just think that the messaging was just wrong. It was just a wrong. They should have said, this machine is capable of 4K instead of throwing it out as true 4K. Yeah.
But when it comes to the whole 4K thing, I don't think for the most part, kid, we have to stay on this too long because
no.
4K has been bashed to the ground, and then it rehabilitated itself, and then got bashed back into the ground. I mean, I personally feel like resolution ruined this entire generation.
Yes, it did.
I feel like if it wasn't for resolution taking a hold of the entire generation, trying to push neither if it's consoles or media trying to push views or traffic because of resolution, I feel like we'd have more games like Shadow of War that actually have engines that innovate the gaming industry than just going on a stage and bragging about 4K, which everyone does now.
Right.
So,
Right.
that's besides the fact. But I just want to see gaming. I just want to see more related games that push the industry forward than just talking about how many pixels is on a screen.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. So, but any other comments on Xbox One X, the console? I mean, is there anything else other than the 4K that you have a problem with? It, the price, the look, the release.
It looks
coming
good.
out. No,
The console itself looks pretty good. I know it was there at the show. So how did it look in person?
ooh, that thing looks sexy. That thing looks sexy,
nice.
Man.
Yeah.
It's small. It's sleek. It looks like I know I'm gonna get some hate from this. It looks like
The PS2.
it looked like a PlayStation 2
Yep.
with a makeover, with a nice ass makeover.
Yeah.
Because the PlayStation 2 itself was ugly, but
the fat one, yeah.
yeah, it looks like a PlayStation 2 with a makeover, which was a nice, design choice. It's small. It's like I wanted to pick it up, but they won't let you touch it and whatnot. They had it on stage next to the Xbox One S. It's like I wanted to pick it up and hug it, squeeze it, rub it. It's a nice looking console. I like the way even though it's a regular Xbox One X controller, it just Xbox One controller. It feels cool. It looks cool to look at and whatnot. I didn't get to hear how loud it was because I feel like obviously where we were at, we were in a loud location with all that power running through that thing and that new fan they got in that bad boy. I wanted to see if it was going to be a louder console. So that's something else. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, looks good. My gripes, I wish the console would have launched with an Elite controller.
That would have pushed the price way over the top.
Yeah, but hey, if it kept it at $500 with an Elite controller in there, I think that would have been like pretty dope to do. I feel like the November 7th, it's a cool day. It's early November. I was hoping for a late October or a mid October.
I was too. Yeah. Just because like Shadow of War is coming out October and a lot of games. I think Assassin's Creed is coming out October. So
I was like, you don't want to come. The console should not come out after all these games.
Right.
It needed to come out in the middle or right with it. Like it's technically coming out right with Call of Duty, I'd say. Because Call of Duty comes out that Tuesday, right? And the One X come out that Friday. I mean, no. I think Call of Duty comes out that Friday, and the One X comes out that Tuesday, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, but it does come out before the game I'm really most looking forward to. It comes out before Battlefront 2, so
Yes, I'm hyped for
uh,
that game. That and
yeah,
Dragon Ball Z Fighter Z or whatever how you want to call it.
yeah. Now the game, I ain't gonna lie. There's gonna be a couple games I'm gonna be holding out for until like I won't play until Xbox One X come out. I know it sounds corny and cheesy, but I just some games I want to see experience on the One X before I see it played on my S or bother playing on my S. So that's why I've been loading up with my console right now with a lot of uh what you call it backlog titles. So
Yeah.
we'll see. But even though I got some of these games pre-ordered, um, anything, any game in particular from the Xbox conference that you thought you were most impressed with?
Um,
I liked Ashton.
like
I
I
thought Ashton looked pretty good.
yeah.
You said you thought Ashen looked pretty
Mhm.
good.
Yeah,
Okay, did you get to play it, AJ?
yeah, I played it.
Okay, okay. How'd you like it? Like as far as like,
I liked it. People are like, "Oh, it's just a Dark Souls clone." I'm like, you know, like here's the thing. Like that whole genre was jump started by Dark Souls. So like, obviously, if you make a game in that genre, everything's gonna look like a Dark Souls clone. Like,
Right.
and what's
yeah,
funny is when people make like Bloodborne and stuff, they always define that as its own entity, and I'm like, that's a Dark Souls clone. Surge is a Dark Souls clone. Lords of the Fallen is a Dark Souls clone. You guys have spent plenty of money on Dark Souls clones. Why not this one?
yeah. I mean, I love the art style of it. I mean, the fact, other than the fact that nobody in the game has faces or anything like that, but the art style is pretty freaking dope. And Ashen is coming out in 2018, right? That's just like it's not coming out this year, right?
Yeah,
I think they
2018.
confirmed that.
Just because
Yeah.
Bloodborne is made by the same people doesn't make it any less of a Dark Souls clone. If anything, that makes it more of a Dark Souls clone. It was made by the same people who made Dark Souls.
Pretty much. Um, Now let's try to see what else was a big deal at the show. All right, how big is the original Xbox backwards compatibility to you? And it's fitting
Don't
that they're
care
bringing
for it.
back
It's
the
not
Duke
important to
controller.
me until they put the controller out. Then I might have a different tone.
Yeah.
I talked to Phil Spencer and I was like, this would mean a lot to me if achievement support is added. And I did ask Phil if would this be something that would be updated with Game Pass? Would this go into Game Pass? Because I was like, I don't know. I mean, I don't own any original Xbox games. Don't know where I can find them. Like I like it would be nice to, a nice addition to bolster that library. And he was like, that's most definitely pretty much something they're looking into that will be more than likely to happen. That would happen probably before achievements are added to those games, but they are all going to look better. They're confirmed to run better also on the Xbox One S as well. So
Here's the thing: when it comes to backwards compatibility, I don't care too much for it because when I buy a new console, I'm not trying to play old games. That's just me. So when I buy a new console, I want to play the new games. So backwards compatibility is not my forte.
I think backwards compatibility is important, especially at the launch of a console of a new console. Because I'm thinking back on like Xbox 360 games. I mean, Xbox 360 days when it first came out, or Xbox One when it first came out. There's a shortage of titles that are there. Sure, you can exhaust all the launch titles, but then there's some games that you enjoyed or you were still playing that year, games that came out that year that wasn't also available on a newer console. That I feel like can help you hold you over until those big titles start coming out consistently for the now current console. So that's why I feel like backwards compatibility was important. I felt like it was important to the PS2, early days of the PS3, Xbox 360 when they had initially had it I think before they initially took it away. And then I feel like it's important now because sometimes you can go back and just play a game. You can go achievement hunting. There's a game you missed. They about to drop a sequel, and you never got to experience before, and now you can play it now. So I feel like that is an important aspect. I know it's downplayed a lot, but I appreciate backwards compatibility. And of course, I would be one to tell you, yeah, you buy new consoles for new games, but I'm not going to say no to the options of keeping my games. Like some of these games, we spent a lot of money on games, especially digital. Being that we're headed to a digital age, every game needs to be backwards compatible. I'm sorry. It's just that because it's the principle. You know what I mean? Like, what I'm gonna do? Get rid of my console and just like, all right, forget about those games, and they just eventually just go away or something like that. So I want to have it's the principle of always having access to them. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I see why people care for it, but it's just not for me.
Understandable. That's fair. That's fair. So anybody else on the backwards compatibility?
I just feel like it was something unnecessary, but I understand why they're doing it. It's not necessarily, they think people want to play these games, which, there are. I think it's a minority. I don't think it's the majority of gamers. A lot of gamers these days that came into the generation didn't even play games back then. So, I think it's mainly like a promise. Like, look, wherever you go, even shit that was made 20 years ago is going with you.
Yeah, yeah. But it's important. It's goodwill. It is goodwill. You know what I mean? It is goodwill. And I think in the end it'll pay off.
Yeah, it's a nice feature. Um, there's some things that people haven't played that they'll probably want to go back and play. Like there's probably going to be people that are going to want to jump back on and play like KOTOR or something like that. Um, it's just an additional feature. That's all it is. It's nice to have.
Yeah. And just wanna you guys ready to do this giveaway for Dead by Daylight?
Yeah.
Let's do
We got
it.
we got a Dead by Daylight code. We're gonna ask a trivia question, an Xbox base related question, and the first person to answer it in the chat, please put your answer with your Twitter handle as well, so we can find you on Twitter and direct message you that code. I'm going to give Gaming Addict the honors to ask this question, and we'll be waiting on the chat to answer. So I'm gonna ask everybody to be quiet. We're gonna give Gaming Addict the floor, and we're about to do this quick trivia question. And the floor is yours. First one to get this question right gets Dead by Daylight in your Twitter inbox today
Game just
by
came
yours
out today,
truly.
too.
Yep.
All right, so here is the question. When the original Xbox was about to be launched, Microsoft looked into buying a certain franchise to be the premier mascot of their brand. It wasn't called Xbox at the time, obviously. What franchise was that?
Can you ask that question again,
I
like
said,
better, easier?
what was the mascot that originally Microsoft wanted to use to launch their console, the original console that they had, the original Xbox? No, it's not Halo.
Poe said Halo. Timothy says Call of Duty.
No.
Shit, I don't really.
Cool. The original damn, what was the original
It's not Fable.
mascot? The original mascot they wanted to use to launch the Xbox.
Oh,
Somebody's close.
Someone's close.
Come on.
Oh,
Poe's got it. Nah, Poe's got it. The correct answer is Sonic.
Oh, word?
Xbox originally wanted to use Sonic to launch the Xbox console because they were going to buy the IP from Sega, and things didn't. I guess things didn't happen, and they wound up with Halo, the god. So Pose, and unfortunately he's a mod. You win Dead by Daylight. I think I have Pose on Twitter.
And to be fair, no one can complain about him winning that because when someone said Sega, I said you're mad close. What's the biggest name in Sega? Sonic. Everyone should have got that shit.
Yeah, the person that said Sega wasn't even the one that said Sonic neither. That's the funny thing. So, Pose, I'll be sending you that code in just a moment. Let me get that open that email up. Ah man, but next week we'll be back also with a $50 Xbox gift card. I know I keep saying that, right?
And I'm gonna make that trivia question something hard.
Okay, so that's AJ coming up with these hard ass questions. But does the chat have any questions for us, the Planet Xbox members? Please fire on all cylinders.
AKA, who's gonna troll Kid the best for the next 10 minutes?
Damn, I don't have Pose on Twitter? I could have sworn I had him on Twitter.
I guess there's no questions.
No questions? Because there's no questions, we gonna head out of here. Ah, man. Pose, link your Twitter. Like, put your Twitter handle so I can, find you. Because I don't know if I'm following you or not. I thought I was. Shout
out of
to
curiosity, everyone in the comment section, who's actually buying an Xbox One X?
a lot of people are gonna be like, I'm buying a PC. If your answer was you're buying a PC this whole damn time, you should have got one already.
Everybody, show me a PC for $500 that can do what the Xbox One X can do, and I'll buy that PC too.
Timothy Bragg says, will this One X push the release date of the next Xbox back?
It might.
Yeah, it depends. I don't think they want to do traditional consoles. I think there will be. I'll say this. I think there will be a PlayStation 5 before there's another Xbox, next generation Xbox console. Which is surprising. It shouldn't be, but I think that's what's going to happen. Hell, they might be another Nintendo console before there's another Xbox console. So,
do you guys like these mid console refreshes? I mean, because we're used to the one console per generation, but are you guys feeling this mid generation consoles?
Here's the thing. I'm obviously excited for the Xbox One X. I obviously own a Pro. I'd say it depends. As long as it's transparent, I don't want to see another Xbox in 2 years. No, I don't want to see. I couldn't do it. The consoles can't be like cell phones and tablets. They can't come out annually. I feel like every 3 to 4 years. That's fair. That's fair as long as it's transparent.
All right, I've snatched you, Paulus. I'll give it to a Kid later. I got Twitter.
To kind of follow up on that, do you think they should have released that One X as a starter of a new generation? I mean, because the leap from the original to the One X is it's a generational leap. To be honest. So do you think they should have waited? And it didn't
to release the Xbox One X.
Yeah, and made it its own, and to make it the start of a new generation.
I was hoping that it was going to be so it could have its own games and whatnot eventually, but hey, I don't know. We got to see what happens. We got to look at this a year from now. I think what the Xbox One X and what the PlayStation 4 Pro does is extend the life of the Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Now, you got to think about it. the 360 and the PS3 was like some of the longest living consoles, right?
Right.
And I feel like these console cycles, even though they're supposed to be what 5 6 years, 4 to 6 years, they're gonna last longer, and I think they're gonna last longer through these refreshes. So
Right.
instead of not going this
I don't think
this
we're
whole
going to see
time without
another
a
one until
console, I feel
maybe
like we'll get
2020, 2021.
yeah. But who said with Xbox? I think it's still going to be a console refresh though. It's going to be something. Eventually, Xbox One games, won't be made for it. You're going to have to. The minimum console you would need is the X or the S or something like that to for some of these games to start running on it. But I don't think there's going to be like, all right, this is a brand new Xbox. I think it's going to be irritations, and then eventually Xbox One games. The next games that come out won't run on original Xbox One. You would have to have an X, or you would have to have a minimum an S or something like that. Even though the S is not that much different from an original Xbox One. But
Mega, I don't think Microsoft will ever go in the handheld market.
I think they should. They could. I feel like
No,
for
they
the
shouldn't.
stuff that they have, like I said, I would enjoy like I said, if my Switch was an Xbox, it was Xbox based, I'd love it. It would be my favorite handheld console of all time. I would completely freaking love it. I like the Switch itself as a hardware. I just hate its shortcomings and what it doesn't do.
Wayne says, is Tomb Raider going to be enhanced for the X1? Probably.
Right now, it's currently not listed, but you would think it's a UWP title, so I think by default it will be enhanced. But currently, it's not listed. Just like this whole time, The Witcher 3 was not enhanced for the Pro. It might get enhanced now that it's definitely enhanced for the Xbox One X.
I can't wait for that. And I'm definitely double dipping on Witcher 3.
And guess what? I only played. Well, I don't know how many hours I played in The Witcher. Not much.
Oh man.
I would actually attempt to play it realistically because I had no patience for the game earlier. So
I put in 800 hours into that game.
oh wow,
That game is
800
crazy.
hours.
800 hours. I mean, it's so much shit in that game. Like from the and what I really like about it is that the side quests can co-align with the main quest, and the main quest can co-align with the side quests. That's to me that's the best RPG ever that I've ever played. Anyway, it's,
So,
it's dope.
AJ, you were about
hold
to
on,
say
I'm
something.
reading something. So, do you think Sony are going to pay money for the same thing for years like Xbox did when they contracted license status, like I guess Call of Duty? That any game that comes out for PS4 must look, play, and run better than the Xbox?
Mm.
Oh, I know what he's saying.
The parody.
This is the whole parody thing because you know how I don't think Microsoft is going into doing that. Not with Phil Spencer at center. You know what I mean? Maybe if it was the last team, they probably would have imposed that like, oh, the game must look better, even though these games should be.
Right.
No, I don't think they'll sign that. I feel like with the Xbox One X, they're not the market leaders. So remember the best games they're going to get that are as far as marketing rights and partnerships is anything from EA and stuff like Shadow of War and maybe a game from Ubisoft here and there. But PlayStation is going to be the front runner from everything else, unless tides start to turn or something like that. So Microsoft, even though they're not going to win, they're not at the moment. They don't have the publisher's hands right now. They're trying to win it a different way through developers by giving them sweet ass Xbox One X dev kits that are super easy, super developer friendly, and they're giving the developers the tools to make the best game possible, to make the game look best possible on a console. When developers optimize these games and they're looking great on PC, they want them to get that as close as possible onto a console and be able to present it the best way it can. Some developers and publishers like Bungie and Activision, I guess they don't really care to show off their games in the best light, and that's the only way The only reason why they withheld the PC version of Destiny 2 from the initial reveal. They didn't want to show it because it would have took the spotlight away from the PlayStation 4 brand. And that's why we got to see it like so late, like just recently, the 4K 60 gameplay demo of Destiny 2. They had it, but they wanted to withhold it out of the reveal so PlayStation can get the spotlight. Just some trivia for you guys, some facts, since you guys don't think I bring enough of those.
I just don't know where did Microsoft go wrong this generation. I mean, besides besides the initial reveal, the $500 price tag, where did they like what is going on with Xbox that they're not what they was last generation, and I don't know what happened. They lost their mojo or happened? Is it Phil
Oh no,
Spencer? Are they?
no,
Is he the
Phil
reason?
Spencer. Phil Spencer wasn't there at the launch of the Xbox, but someone does have a good question real quick. Has any of you guys ever thought of making a game with a dev kit? Why or why not? No, definitely not. And because I am not looking to get in the dev industry, like not even a little bit.
Um, I went to activate dev kit mode, but when I realized it would take me out of the preview program, I think it was. I was like, never mind. I have no business doing it. I would love to have my own game,
You want to make a live,
and
don't you?
I want to make I want to make something. I want to make a video game, but like I said, anything if we ever got to make a video game, that game wouldn't be any good.
Hmm.
As far as performance, should be running at like 7 frames per second. Like,
That's being
like just
lucky, right?
yeah.
His game's gonna look like a PowerPoint show.
Yeah, pretty much. You
Gonna look
get
like it's
achievement
gonna
for
look
pressing
like
this line. Like Arc, yeah, Arc. He said Disney wanted Arc to be showed at E3. Arc isn't that? Is it? Is Arc even a pretty game?
Have
No.
you not seen it on PC?
It still doesn't look that impressive.
Yeah, it does it.
Uh, but let's get out of here. We've I want to appreciate all you guys for watching us tonight. I'm gonna let my co-hosts say their outros and let them know where you guys can find them. So we're gonna start off with iFraud. Please let them know
Hey,
where they can find you.
right. Thanks. Well, first of all, thanks for having me on. You can catch me on Twitter, man. iFrog Gamer. I actually have my own YouTube channel, iFrog Gamer Live, which is about to get a rebranding to a dedicated Xbox channel. And that channel we call the Xbox Shop. So subscribe to that, man, and look forward to some Xbox goodness, man.
And I Dizzy.
All right,
He
y'all.
makes a mean steak.
Yeah, I should be eating steak. Actually, I put that to the side. Thank you very much. Um, you could definitely follow me at idizzy81 on Twitter, Twitch, pretty much any platform that you could think of. Um, that's my tag. But yeah, another episode down, man. Another episode down.
And Gaming Addict.
You can catch me on YouTube, Gaming Addict. You definitely catch me on Twitter, Gaming Addict LLP. Every Sunday at 1, I'm the co-host of another podcast called the Iron Lords Podcast. Definitely go check that out. So, but thanks for all coming. Remember to smash that like button and show kid that that you like the podcast.
All right. Also, want to give a special shout out to Reddit Infamy for joining us for the early part of the show. I know she had a lot to do today, so probably have her on next week or week after that. Next week we should have Tim Dog in the building. So just want to thank you guys for joining us once again. It's Kid Smooth Planet Xbox. Xbox is the best box. I am the best bot. Good night. or good morning if you're on the other side of the globe. We out of here. Peace.
Peace.